Hi guys, welcome to lesson 3-2, solving inequalities using addition or subtraction.
With Mr. Bolin and Mrs. Zierzo.
Yeah, she's back. All right, so our objective for today is that I can use addition and subtraction to solve inequalities. Our vocabulary term, equivalent inequalities, are inequalities that have the same solution. All right, so just like equivalent equations, the equations had the same solution, same thing here.
Essential understanding. Just as you used properties of equality to solve equations in Chapter 2, you can use properties of inequality to solve inequalities.
Okay, so our first one is the addition property of inequality. And basically this just says that as long as you are adding the same thing to both sides of your inequality, the relationship will remain true. And this is true for both less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. All right, so problem number one. Using the addition property of inequality, we want to know what are the solutions for each inequality, and then we are going to graph our solutions. So Mrs. Zierzo already started. She is adding 5 to both sides. So n is greater than 2. So we have an open dot at 2. And we are going to be shading to the left. Less than. And is less than 2. So we're shading to the left of our open circle.
All the way to the end, please.
Okay. All right. Letter B. We have m minus 11, so we're going to add 11 to both sides. So m is greater than or equal to 9. So we have a closed dot at 9. And we are going to shade to the right. Remember that little hint that I gave you, that when the variable is on the left, the direction the arrow is pointing is the direction that you shade. All right. So why don't you guys give the next two a try? And we will go over them. So x minus 7, so we need to add 7 to both sides. So x is going to be greater than 3. So we have an open circle at 3, and we are shading to the right. Okay. Our second problem, x minus 3 is less than or equal to 5. We're going to add 3 to both sides. And x is going to be less than or equal to 8.
Good thing I used pencil in math, right, Ellison?
All right, and it is less than or equal to, the arrow is pointing to the left, so we are going to shade to the left. Make sure it is obvious which direction you are shading. All right, moving on to problem number 3, using the subtraction property of inequality. This says the exact same thing that the addition property did, that if we are subtracting the same value from both sides of our inequality will remain true. It is the same for greater than and equal to, or less than or equal to as well. So using the subtraction property of inequality, we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So y is less than or equal to negative 4. So we have a closed dot and negative 4, and we are shading to the left.
To the left, everything you own in a box to the left. Sorry. Okay.
Letter B.
You're so glad I'm back. You're so glad I'm back.
Subtract 12 from both sides.
I keep your life interesting.
And we've got negative 13 is greater than or equal to y. So if we flip that around, y is less than or equal to negative 13. Same thing, we just turned it, held a mirror up to it and turned it around.
It's easier to graph this way for me.
Yeah, except I didn't put a graph that goes to 13. So there we go. We got a point at 13, and we are shading to the left. Sorry about that, guys. All right, letter C, we are going to subtract 9 from both sides of our equation. 12 minus 9 is 3. So x is less than 3. Open dot, because it's less than, and we are shading to the left.
To the left? No, okay, sorry.
All right. Why don't you guys try the two at the bottom of the page there? We have, we'll go over them. So x plus 6, we need to subtract 6 from both sides. So x is greater than 8. So we have an open dot at 8, and we are shading to the right.
To the right, to the right. Sorry.
Letter B, we are going to subtract 14 from both sides of the equation. And so x is greater than or equal to -5. So close dot at -5, and we are shading to the right again. Okay.
Right foot, 2 stomps.
All right. Next page, we have writing and solving an inequality, problem number 4. So we have the hard drive on your computer has a capacity of 120 gigabytes, not very large. You have used already 95 gigabytes, and you want to know, or you are going to save some home videos to the hard drive, and you want to know what are the sizes of the video collection you can save on that drive. So we have a couple pieces of information there. We have 120, 95, and possible sizes. So we're starting off with, we have 95 gigs. We are adding our x, which is our amount of videos, and that's going to be less than or equal to 120, because the maximum size we can have on the hard drive is 120. All right, so we're going to subtract 95 from both sides. We find that x is going to be less than or equal to 25 gigs. So you can only fit 25 more gigabytes of memory, or of anything on that hard drive.
Or 24, or 23, or 22.
Or anything less. Yeah.
And 25.
All right. Letter B, a club has a goal of selling at least 25 plants for a fundraiser. Club members sell 8 plants on Wednesday and 9 plants on Thursday, and we want to know what is the possible number of plants that they can sell on Friday to meet their goal. So we have 8 plus 9 plus our unknown, which is x, or f, and that is going to be greater than or equal to 25, because we want to have at least 25 plants sold. So we're going to subtract 17 from both sides, and f is going to be greater than or equal to 8. 8 plants, and make sure you have your labels. All right, letter C.
I got a song for labels too. It's an old commercial.
Is it the Libby's something song? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to go through that at Thanksgiving with my mom last year.
Well, we sing it every year.
All right. A cyclist is taking her bike on a chairlift to the top of a slope. The lift can safely carry 600 pounds, and the cyclist weighs 124, and the bike weighs 32. What are the possible additional weights that the lift can safely carry? So we have 124 plus 32 plus x, which is our unknown, is less than or equal to 600. 156 plus x is less than 600. So when you subtract 156 from both sides, you have x is less than or equal to 444 pounds. And just as a note, this picture is Breckenridge, Colorado. In the summer, when there is no snow on the mountains, you can mountain bike on the mountains, and they take you up a chairlift to the top of them. So, pretty cool place if you're ever out there. All right, letter D. Can you use the same inequality symbol to represent phrases like at least, no less than, and greater than or equal to? Yes, you can. It's going to be the greater than or equal to symbol. Right? So these are all phrases that represent the same concept, that you have to have more than that number or equal to that number. All right? So just pay attention to the word problems and what they are asking you each time. Okay?
Oh.
Last page, make sure you rate your level of understanding. Write down any questions or confusions you may have come up with on this lesson. And make sure that you write down your summary. What did we learn today? And Mrs. Irzos filling in her question. I need to remember my symbols and how to use them. That is absolutely true. All right, we will see you in class tomorrow. Have a great day.